Hey guys, welcome to another exciting video from our channel, Engine Nation. In this video today, we will tell you about the frightening economics of Tesla's 4680 battery cell that you must know. But before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon for more exciting content and updates in the future. That said, let's begin. Elon Musk just announced in a recent tweet, the dry electrode is a critical piece in the puzzle of lowering the cost of lithium batteries. However, moving Maxwell's proof of concept to high-quality volume production has required an enormous amount of engineering, and we're still not done. As we had deduced from the Q1 earnings call, it was always going to be the dry, slurry technique that would cause the most delays. First and foremost, we appreciate Elon keeping us informed. In our opinion, perfecting this process is critical to the company's future growth. It is, without a doubt, the single most important aspect of business that must be addressed. It is this that will result in much less floor space being required for battery production, resulting in smaller factories being required for the same output. This provides Tesla with a significant competitive advantage over other battery manufacturers. Yes, tabless is brilliant, and it allows Tesla to increase the production line's velocity. But the dry electrode process simply removes so much of the production line, as well as requiring significantly less capital. But based on this tweet, it appears that they are doing everything they can to resolve the issue, which we believe is the most significant roadblock to the company's progress at this time. Just because we haven't heard much about the Tesla 4680 batteries doesn't mean the company isn't working around the clock to perfect the manufacturing process. Now, obviously, we cannot provide you with the financial advice. This is not something we are obligated to say, but it is absolutely true, as we have no knowledge of your financial situation. But in terms of Tesla's investment advice, once Tesla figures out the dry electrode process, there is no stopping them, in my opinion, regardless of how much weight you place on it. Tesla appears to be attempting to do everything they claim to be capable of. It is a new industry with products, tools, equipment, and machines that haven't yet been invented. So some of these timelines are incredibly difficult to predict. They'll have to invent them along the way. Of course, if you're a legendary automaker, you'll have no trouble estimating timelines for producing 1 million electric vehicles by 2025. That's roughly 3 times faster than Tesla was able to scale. Elon uses the word immense to describe the amount of engineering involved in his tweet. This is coming from the world's top engineering company, with resources from the world's top rocket company. So immense carries a lot of weight in this context. Elon explains that he isn't quite there yet. It's possible they're almost there, and it'll happen eventually. This is to reach the level of high-quality volume production, which is possibly not far away. We also have no idea what not quite done means. Is it possible that human intervention is required for the dry electrode process right now, which is simply slowing mass-scale production too much to get the numbers we need? In other words, we don't know at what level or at what speed the 4680s are currently produced. This could be a significant obstacle to overcome before Tesla's stock price begins to rise again. But even if it took 2 more years, Tesla would still be 2 years behind in some areas. The fact that it is possible and Tesla can achieve it whenever it is achieved means Tesla is on track to reach a valuation of $3 to $5 trillion. I'm just trying to put into context how significant this accomplishment is for the company, assuming no one else has succeeded in a similar feat before Tesla. On the other hand, how else is anyone going to come close if this difficulty for Tesla and all of their engineers, who have unlimited capital, the most experience, and the most to gain from it? It's possible that the CATL or SK Innovation are currently conducting their own research and development on how to eliminate the wet slurry electrode process. It doesn't take a genius to see how valuable it is in the manufacturing industry. But whether or not they will succeed is a different matter entirely. Even if they were able to, it would most likely take years before they could scale. These crucial years give Tesla even more time to gain a competitive advantage in EVs and batteries. That is, if these other battery manufacturers are capable of doing so. Tesla's 4680 batteries will most likely be manufactured by LG and Panasonic. Wouldn't that imply that they have all the engineering know-how necessary to develop their own battery production line? For this technique, Tesla had to buy Maxwell Technologies. This was not a cheap option. Tesla appears to have lost interest in Maxwell's hypercapacitors, as the company is now selling them. So, we're back to the dilemma of being a Tesla shareholder. Do we want Tesla to keep all the technology for themselves? Or do we want the technology to be shared so that the transition to clean energy can be accelerated even faster? We suppose the question is whether Tesla will release the dry electrode process patent. Even with the patent, it appears that the entire process would be difficult to duplicate. And this is just one aspect of the 4680 battery's magic. It would be extremely difficult to duplicate everything. It's funny because when people first bought Tesla cars, they didn't have their own battery. In other words, Panasonic was the catalyst for Tesla's greatest competitive advantage. At the very least, after this procedure is completed, it means that Tesla's battery costs are significantly lower than those of competitors. Given Tesla's high demand, it's unlikely that any savings will be passed on to customers. Instead, it's more likely that Tesla will simply increase its profit margins, giving them more money to put back into the company and its products. Once again, the products are being improved and more economies of scale are being reaped. While the Chinese, for example, are attempting to reduce costs by reducing margins, they are making less profit, leaving less money for capital investment in their businesses. Tesla has access to capital that can be used not only to cut costs, but also to add value to the product itself. For example, Tesla produces a higher value product for less money, making it difficult for some Chinese electric vehicles to compete. The 4680's dry slurry technique is a big part of why it's so popular. For those of you who were around when Tesla bought Maxwell Technologies, it was exciting to learn that Tesla was even more likely to make their own batteries, and even more exciting to learn that they would use the dry electrode process. But here we are, still waiting to see if Tesla can accomplish this. It's hard to believe, but it's only been a year since Battery Day. Yet, so much has happened since then. We've seen and heard a plethora of ideas, all of which are contingent on the success of this final element. We believe that once this is accomplished, the battery lines in Texas and Berlin can be completed. In reality, until these factories started ramping up, the 4680 production line didn't need to be perfected. Until the factory ramps up, Tesla appears to be producing enough 4680 batteries for Berlin from Cato Road. We're hoping to have everything figured out by then. Given that, Tesla will most likely have until the end of the year to resolve the issue. Elon's tweet does not specify whether they are on schedule or not. The real schedule, we assume, is to have the 4680 lines ready by the time the two new factories start up. Otherwise, they will be limited to whatever 4680 batteries Tesla can produce at the Cato Road facility for the time being. The ramping up of these factories has been significantly slowed. But when it comes to ramping up the mass market, will these factories be constrained by battery capacity? Both of these factories are expected to have the production capacity of at least 1 million units per day. If the average battery pack size per vehicle is 60 kilowatts, then 120 gigawatts of batteries are required per year. Tesla's plan for these factories was for them to produce 100 gigawatts, which included what Cato Road did. Even with how impressive the latest Model Y is ramping up in Shanghai, it appears that if Tesla meets its 100 gigawatt goal for the next year, the factories will not be constrained in ramping up. We mean those batteries could potentially power 1.6 million electric vehicles, assuming that everyone was assigned to autos rather than energy. If that were the case, Tesla's growth for the coming year would be well over 100%. So, we guess this is just another video in which we explain why the completion of the 4680 production line is such a big deal. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you've enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel Engine Nation for more videos like this one. Until next time.